My name is Michael Lamoth, and I'm a senior communications major at Salem State University. This semester, I did an internship at the United Way in Boston. The United Way is a nonprofit organization that supports children, teens, and families in inner cities. And I specifically worked on the development team with private equity and venture capital firms, and specifically young associates in those firms, so people who are no more than 5 years into their careers. I want to start today with why communication matters. I think communication matters because it's a staple in everything that is done in the workplace. From coexisting with coworkers, communicating with coworkers. That's huge in the workplace because when you have that open communication with them, it's when your best ideas and views are going to come out. When you're meeting with customers or clients, when you're talking to them face to face. And that openness kind of develops trust in your ideas because like I said, when you have that comfort in communicating with your peers, it's when your best ideas are going to come forward. And then finally, in today's world, people buy from people. So you could have the best product in the world, but if you don't have the person to communicate it effectively to your client, then you really have nothing. So what is communications? I had kind of put together a definition kind of based off other definitions and kind of based off what I believe myself. And I think it's to express ideas and emotions between people so that those ideas and emotions are received easily. And that's what you want, communicating. You want your ideas to be straightforward, easy to understand, and to get your point across to your client. There's two types of communication. The first one is that I'm going to talk about is expressive communication. So you can find expressive communication on websites, through public speaking, on pictures, advertisements. And its purpose is to market information for the organization, persuade the audience to do what you want them to do, disseminate facts to them, evoke emotion for them, into them, and inform them. Kind of to start off, one of the really cool things that I got to do when I was at United Way was go speak with Bain, employees from Bain Capital, which is a firm in Boston, and I got to listen to a woman named Alice who was a senior marketing employee at United Way, and she talked to them about kind of what United Way is doing right now, gave an inspirational speech. They watched, a video on what United Way is doing, and then we sort of talked about ways that they could get involved. And in those videos, she was trying to do all the things that I'm talking about here. Market the company, persuade them to get involved. Give facts about the company, evoke emotion in them to want to get to help out. So the first picture I have here is the photo of the little boy, and the quote says, "I don't know how much you gave the United Way, but I know how much you gave me." And just the picture and that quote is going to evoke emotion in anyone. And like I said, that emotion, we're trying to get those people to get involved with the organization. The second one I have here is a good example of one that disseminates facts. And also evokes emotion at the same time. The picture of the girl hugging her father, kind of gives the point that she might not have been able to get where she is today without the help of United Way. And then the facts that they give off are 110,000 children benefited from United Way. 8,400 kids improved their GPA, and 26,000 kids were read to on a regular basis. And this was in a Buffalo, New York branch. And that was one that, obviously the people had a positive influence in that area. To move on, we have receptive communication now, and this is the communication that you're trying to give to the receiver. So the message that you want to give to them is clear and easy. The message should be honest and true. That was something that was really stressed at United Way, that we want to give honest facts about the organization and what we're doing. And those honest facts, whether good or bad, are gonna help you are going to help, excuse me, the client understand what is needed at the organization. So if the facts are, if the percentages of whatever we're helping out are low, then maybe they might take initiative, to help out that certain area. And then finally, you want to persuade and gain interest, with your consumer. That's the bottom line, is that you want to persuade them to do what you want them to do. In this case, it would be donate money or give their time and volunteer. You kind of want to follow up with that. The first example I have of receptive communication is, these two websites. Like I said before, your message should be clear and easy. The website on the left is cluttered. It's unorganized. There's really no clear message that it's giving off. And then if you look at the website on the right, it's much simpler. It's much more straightforward, and it kind of has the four objectives that United Way is trying to give off, which is to give, to advocate, to volunteer, and to donate. And those are clearly highlighted in that website. This was something, kind of the website, the new one that they put out, the one on the right, was something that they had when I started out there in January. They had just completed it, and were really proud of it, and was one of the first things that they showed me. Moving on to what does communication require, and this is kind of based off of my experience at United Way, is that before meeting with the associates that I would meet with, the two that I recruited were, one worked at a firm called Catalyst Partners, and then the other one worked at Bain Capital. And I did a little bit of research on them. I found out, a little bit, where they came from, a little bit about their interests based on information that they had on their company's website. And doing this, helps create a relationship with them. It shows to them that they're important to you, and that, their feedback, and their interest in United Way is important to you. And then finally, understanding the audience. A lot of the people that I was working with were, mostly males, very, very busy, work long, hard hours, and don't really, honest to God, have a lot of time to be meeting with workers, quite frankly, from United Way. You really want to tailor that speech in your meetings and think about that as well. At United Way, another way that we kind of figure out how to communicate with certain groups of people are we try to ask why people give philanthropically. So you have kind of four categories that we put people into. The first one are the casual givers, people who maybe give once a year, $100, $50, not too much money, and they kind of just give because it makes them feel good. The second are the high impact givers. These are people who really want to see, the impact of their donation. So they are people who give $5,000 or more, that high impact, very generous. And again, they want to see the impact of their donation. They don't necessarily care where it goes, but they do want to see the impact that it has. The see the difference givers are people who are giving to something that might necessarily not be the most popular, initiative that we have. And again, these people do want to see the difference that they're making. That's very important to them. That's an objective that they have. And then finally, the personal ties givers. So these are people who have personal ties to whoever they're giving to. Maybe it might be homelessness. Maybe it might be, that they were helped by United Way when they were younger, and that they want to give back, so that a child or a family can get the same experience that they had. So then, finally, we have, with kind of figuring that information out about why the people are giving, is that we can personalize our message to them. Discussing, whatever it is that they want to give for, the cause that they want to give to. The first personalized message that we have here is the hand over the rain picture, which is advocating to give for homelessness. The hand kind of resembles the people who are giving money or advocating or volunteering their time, and it's helping out the homeless. The second one here we have is is that some United Ways will use an athlete to personalize their message. So in this case, this was a Miami area United Way, and they had Chad Pennington, who was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Kind of with the T-shirt on that Live United, and it shows that he thinks it's a good cause, and that he's an influence on those people, and that they should also give to United Way. And then finally, you want to find feedback, whether it's good or bad. Listen to that feedback, decode that feedback. Talk to your coworkers about that feedback, and then make adjustments to the pitch that you make the next time. Because tailoring your speech, like I said, and making those adjustments is key to developing a relationship in the workplace, or with a client, or anybody. So here ends my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.